gentlemen, welcome to your new paradigm. Love and peace. Everybody arise. Everybody arise. It is that time. We shatter the fear paradigm. Leave it alone. Love your loved ones. Love your neighbors. Love your planet. Everybody arise. Everybody arise. There's no debate, and it's one blue planet. We gotta share it. This little rock in space is third base, is how God planned it. Souls are commanded, some understand it, some don't pray. Please overstand this, is greed and lust are cast away. They manufacturing private poisons as public goods. The finest fight, prison pipelines and gentrified hoods. I flunk polluters, flinging fat F's for fish kills. Foreclose on factory farms and forage for a meal. Forever fervent in my defense of the feminine Mother Earth and her medicine messages from forever when ancestors were the residents. Thankful there is evidence in texts and monuments and warnings of what's next. How it all connects, glacial melts and cleared fields. How will my lungs heal? How will my lungs heal? God's willing we kneel or sacrificially be vegan. I stand for peace and sign the Paris Climate Agreement. Seek meaning in every meeting, completing and not competing, believing and not deleting scientific truth and teaching. My beliefs based in the fact, real faith takes works. Man-made climate change is real. Let's take care of the earth, y'all. Mother Earth is on the rise, you know. She's been abusing, getting tired. It's all of us to make it right, and so everybody arise, everybody arise. Mother Earth is on the rise, you know. She's been abusing, getting tired. It's all of us to make it right, and so everybody arise, everybody arise. I say peace to every single being who can feel me. Please let the flaws of man recede freely. I don't take any. Leave these jewels and I'm ready. Bouncing. Anti-war announcements and I'm steady. Get out of here. I'm for the people I'm allowed to be. I'm in here. Can't nobody take this person out of me. You in here. You about to hear what we about to see, a future. For all our future generations, harmony. Gardens don't need guarding. No more greed, no more misogyny. My God, this modern world is an assault on our arteries. Gaia's been downgraded and garnished for our fancy fees. Imagine walking and running for hundreds of miles and still you can't be free. Fill the streets, fill the squares, make this heaven on earth. Local grown, global home, for the better or worse. Farmers markets, earth domes, make you pop with the perks. This is real, facing mass extinction, what could be worse? Put science first, for the earth, the only one that we got. Then go to synagogue, church, or mosque and pray a whole lot. My beliefs based in the fact that real faith takes works. Man-made climate change is real. Let's take care of the earth. Mother Earth is on the rise, you know. She's been abusing, getting tired. It's all on us to make it right. It's all right. Everybody arise. Everybody arise. Mother Earth is on the rise, you know. She's been abusing, getting tired. It's all on us to make it right.
Our mother be tired of it.
Everybody arise, everybody arise.
Everybody
You know
arise.
yo,
Welcome.
much love. Thanks for being here. Macau. Hey, Roosh, thank you, brothers. Yo.
Peace.
Much love. Yeah, that's a record, man. That record is Steve Wallace and myself. It started off as myself and Lauren, a sister that I met down here in Alabama. And we were working with the Sierra Club of Mobile Bay last year, doing a lot of work with them locally. And the song just came up. They asked me to do something, and then the song kind of came up out of another request. And then so it became part of this project because it just made sense. It was Steve Wallace, and it was the same group of music, same selection of music. So, and same timing and same concept, and it just worked perfectly. And then Steve is on it because that woman, bless her heart, wasn't ready to do what she wanted to do, like hold a note and finish a song, create a song. Although beautiful spirit, beautiful person, and a different Lauren than the Lauren Murphy that I'm working with nowadays. So don't be confused because I did say Lauren. Yeah. Uh,
Nice. Nice. Well, let me welcome everybody. And let's make sure everybody's can hear us. Can everyone hear us? Give me a yes, we can hear us. Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Great. Okay, we are so delighted to have you join us for the Dirty South Chronicles, As Clean as We Want to Be Waterside Chat, an album release concert tonight. Welcome back to MEGACIPH. A few things to note before we get started. We'll be having a Q&A with Miles following some chatting, and there'll be time for any questions you may have to be answered. Just put them up in the chat and we'll take them live. This is going to be a really free-flowing conversation, and we hope it'll be a lively dialogue. If any thoughts come up during our dialogue and debut, feel free to write your questions in the chat window, and we will read them in the order they are submitted. I also want to remind everyone to please mute your microphones and to please keep them muted during the chat. Also, my name is Rachel Dawn Davis, and I'm the Public Policy and Justice Organizer at Waterspirit. I'm joined tonight by Waterspirit's Executive Director, Blair Nelson, and our Programs and Communications Consultant, Abby Koshak. Waterspirit is one of several ministries in New Jersey established by the Sisters of St. Joseph of Peace. We are a center of ecology and spirituality that informs, inspires, and enables all people to deepen their consciousness of the sacredness and interdependence of all creation, with a focus on water as critical in sustaining all life. Waterspirit presents a variety of programs, including weekly meditation sessions and seasonal equinox and solstice celebrations, and also advocates in partnership with others for clean, safe water for all and a just transition to renewable energy sources. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Miles MEGACIPH Thomas. Mental energies gather and circulate in positive harmony. And MEGACIPH is an artist, writer, teacher, and chef, a thinker and creative in the global struggle for peace and human liberation. MEGACIPH raps for human rights. Him, he, they uses no misogyny, no materialism, no militarism or racism in lyrically packed rap songs. MEGACIPH is a lifestyle that has manifested in this person we know as MEGACIPH. And I know we're going to have lots of questions, but this is your album debut, right? So you have to start the packaging. We want to get to that almost immediately. To all who feel, advisory healing content, warning, that's on your album. Can you speak more about this, please?
I started it off with what I didn't want to say, right? I love that. So I'm looking at these albums and I'm listening to people's albums, and everybody's got the same warning on their album. And a lot of the content isn't harmful. A lot of the content might be explicit in the sense that it's out in your face. It's not just implied. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's at the forefront. But that's not what's meant by that parental advisory. What's meant is that these lyrics are shocking and parents should be careful and watch their children and make sure that what they're listening to is safe and kosher, right? Nobody ever watches anyway and cares. Like, parents buy anything for their kids nowadays, especially with streaming services. Kids are listening to everything. So I'm looking at the album and I'm like, this album is for the soul. This is soul food. This is not something that I want to warn parents away from. I want the parents to listen to this with their kids. I want the kids to listen to it with their parents, So I was like, I got to do something different. And I just was like, oh, that's what's going to be. And I've been on this healing vibration for a minute anyway, I'm just moving that way. So it just made sense to, like, at first it was to all who hear, but then I was like, what about my deaf, my hearing impaired brothers and sisters, So I was like, we got to be everybody who feels, because there's some people who hear who don't have a heart, right? So
Mhm.
We cold. We gotta reach the ones who are here feeling, you know, feeling what's going on.
Absolutely. I love that. And I'm so excited to share that with the world because I think it's so important for so many reasons that all people of all ages have that ability to heal through music. And you do it so eloquently on this album, Miles, you really do. And focusing on earth and healing, it's extremely uplifting. And I want to hear a little bit more about, you started in the beginning sharing about where this started from, and it was through advocacy, right? And it was if you could talk more about the inspiration for the album and how it came about, whatever you want to share about
I mean, it's inspired by my life, honestly. Like Mikal is an inspiration for this album, you know. Um, like before I knew the brother Arush, like the work he's doing, the work, you know what I'm saying? That work is the inspiration.
that.
So me coming to the South, this was our last destination spot. This is not
Mhm.
like where we wanted to come. And no hate, but it's just like it's, you know, it's the most repressive part of the country, right? That's what
Mhm.
everybody thinks. You're like, the South, Before here it was the Midwest, and people were like, oh, you going to the Midwest? What you gonna do out there? Like they're
Right.
gonna buy me a cowboy hat and stuff, you know?
Mhm.
And so, but people didn't realize, like living in Kansas made me fall in love with with America. Because
Nice.
when I joined the Marine Corps, I was in love with America. You know, I was like patriot. I was a patriot, you know.
Mhm.
And I became woke. I became what it really means to be woke. The wool was pulled way off my eyes. I was, you know, disillusioned. Um, I saw the beast. I lived in the belly. I ate and feasted within the belly, and then um, found brothers like Macau, you know, and found the cipher, found the connection. I'm a transplant kid. I've never been able to set down roots. So, you know, coming out of New York at 16, moving to Atlanta, you know, going to the Marine Corps, coming home to Atlanta, and then living a life that led to a lot of travel,
Mhm.
you know, like living a life. In those years I traveled the country. I drove the country twice with my mom.
Wow.
And then um meeting my wife, I ended up traveling Europe and seeing a lot of the world, you know, before our children were born.
Mhm.
So like 30 South Chronicles was like, we're going to the South. We tried to live in Cali. It was it wasn't good. We tried to live up north, like Midwest actually was really nice, but this was a beautiful location after
Mhm.
all the interviews. And so um 30 South Chronicles came out of anticipation. Like I reached out to Steve early when we moved down here in 2018 and asked if he had any music that could, any trap beats, any southern trap songs, you know. And he blessed me with a package, and we moved forward, and this is what we made. um there's topics that I wanted to talk about more in depth that I didn't. um and that's because this is like I'm trying not to be off-putting to people. I'm
Mhm.
trying not to be. I'm trying to get you in. I'm trying to give you some candy. You know,
Mhm.
I'm trying to lure you in to my van. You know, so we can go on a trip and go down a rabbit hole together. You know.
Nice. Thank you so much. I love that because you grew up in the north.
Yeah.
And so just again to share, Miles does have a previous chat on our channel, so be sure to check that out where we interview him. Initially, you can feel really energized again from our chat last November. Um,
That was beautiful. Thank
It
you.
was so beautiful, and please, everyone, definitely go watch. I know everyone tuned in did, and that's why they're here tonight. And so, specifically in the South, because you just shared that so beautifully, you've seen the whole country, right? And you have this perspective of a veteran, and from what you see, what social issues are you seeing in the South that are not being prioritized? You share about the beauty with us that you feel in the town where you live, the art walk. If you could
Yeah,
share some more about that, that'd be great.
man. There's a housing complex that I drive by on a way to take my boys to school, where the pool for this, I mean, is heartbreaking. The pool that you can see it from the street is it's unfit. It's unfit to swim in. It's unfit to be around, most likely, you know. Um and we have a thing with flooding here because we have black soil, what's called black, like it's pitch. It doesn't allow the moisture to seep out, right? So, and then if you combine that with septic tanks, right? Because you don't have plumbing to run to a city center, you just have a large tank that slowly bleeds it into the ground. Well, if that ground can't absorb it, then after 10, 20 years, that septic tank is coming up in your yard, you know? So you get pingworm, you get things, you get like diseases and sicknesses, excuse me. You get sicknesses and diseases that people claim were extinguished in the first world, you know? uh, a hateful term in itself, right? First world, developed world,
Right.
underdeveloped world,
Hmm.
developing. Come on, like there's one planet. There's one planet. You got people. You got takers and leavers. You got people who've taken everything. You got you oppressors. You got like colonizers. Thieves. So um. Where was I going with this? Excuse me. I'm sorry. This is
Yeah, the septic tanks and just
Yeah. So I see
conditions.
that. I see I mean Alabama is like 48 on the education ranking, you know. So and I work at a boys and girls club over in the south side of the city. So I get to see um exactly the exact effects of the public school system here in the South,
Hmm.
or and the lack thereof, you know.
Hmm.
um and it's pretty daunting, to say the least. There are not enough resources by any means, the perspective of somebody who's coming from New York. There's not enough resources for the amount of for the amount of need. um, and the area downtown is, they're trying to, I think the mayor who's currently a mayor is running on the platform of leveling all of it to put down a downtown airport and a shopping center. And
Wow.
so it's like the same cycle, and seeing it over and over again, um city to city, place to place, is pretty sad. uh when I first got here, I had a conversation about with somebody about the good restaurants are now over here on this side of town, and he was talking about Chili's and TGI Fridays. And so because it's the South, things come a little bit slower, but you know they still come, and uh the cycles repeat themselves. So we all need to be uplifted. Uh we all need to be included in the circle, in the share. We need to be, like, not even included in the share. Like, the share is ours, so it's not, it's like the work is being done by us,
Hmm.
Like we're begging platforms, like as artists, we beg platforms to put our music out. It's ridiculous, you
Right.
know? Um,
They should be thanking you
yeah.
and paying you handsomely.
I mean, whether they thank us and pay us handsomely or not, the handsome pay would be um, because people bought your music.
Right.
But the noise, the amount of noise that you have to go through and wade through is quite remarkable. People don't understand that.
Yeah, and I know we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I wanted to hear also just, you talked about the issues you're obviously able to see directly with your own eyes, which is so helpful for people who don't live there and don't see that. But in addition to that, I know you have some good community there, and you have, built a network for yourself that is very supportive. That I think, from my feeling that I get from when you talk about it, it's just really beautiful, the energy that you're able to find wherever. And it's specifically to the South, from the South, you felt that.
I do think so. So we have this thing called Art Walk in Mobile every single month. And since the weather's relatively nice in the winter, like doesn't really get, you might have one or two 34 or 40-degree days. The weather's always really good enough to come outside and share. And so people gather in the streets and play live music. Um, I'd say at least 10 to 12 different acts will be out there, and
Wow.
you get a couple from each type of, vein for the most part. And then you'll have artists setting up tables with their wares, and uh you might have a palm reader or two. You might have, have people, really cool stuff, really cool stuff. A couple people who I need to support, who I just haven't yet, but I have it in mind. A brother who makes these helmets that you can like fashion any way you want, so I could have a helmet fashion like Macau's face piece right there. I could have a helmet fashioned like a bee, or fashioned like like a heart. I'm just
Nice.
picking up on the things I see. And
Yeah.
so and then all the restaurants are included, and then there's already the part of the city where there are a bunch of galleries. That's the central district near Bienville Square. So there's a few galleries there, and they're clearly opening their doors to it. There might be a new artist inside or a musician, and then it's really cool. It's just a beautiful space. um and then the clubs are beautiful. So the one beautiful thing about the South and the Midwest is people will take the time to have a conversation, and people will take the time to get to know you. And they can, because they can afford to. The Northeast and the West, in particular, um, are very expensive places to live, and so people tend to be go-getters and hustling and on the move all the time, and they have to be. So it's kind of like, if you can't make me money, I can't really make you time, and that's how it becomes a hard way to live. um so being down here, you get community, and from that community you get um compassion. Me not killing that fly just now was a lot of compassion. So
So we can hear about home, with your song
yeah,
Home.
home is safe space. Home is us needing a place to live. We only have this one planet. It really extends out of Everybody Arise and leads into Safe Space on the album. And that's because that's what you want in a home. You have to have, like, if your home is not if you don't feel protected in your home, you don't have much, right?
Right.
And so ironically, um like we moving down here, we have felt very safe. we have felt very protected and very at peace and very connected to the earth. Um, we've had a lot of space for the children to play. We've had a nice, beautiful home, you know.
Yeah.
And so that song is about creating that energy with that driving chorus, you know. Um, I don't want to have regrets in this world, you know. I don't want to have regrets. But one thing that I would have liked to do on this album was extend choruses and stuff, you know, just bring out and extend choruses like home, and home could have had a second verse. But the way the process came out when I recorded with you was so organic. I went in another day and did the same thing. So I really did that exact thing that we did on video the next day, or maybe it was the next week, and we ended up keeping all those sessions. And
Nice.
me and Steve and I like fell in love with it. And didn't and he had already extended some things by the time I heard it from his mix. And so it was just like, well, let's just rock with it like this. This is a beautiful mix, you know.
Awesome. I think we're gonna hear it now.
Okay.
But yeah, I heard an extended version and also really loved it today. So, you know, there's a room for B-sides to this album.
Most of the space is unused. What is under and over exploited. There's so much to fix, it's got me feeling overwhelmed. If you see something, say something. Okay, we living in hell. I see the signs, I saw the fall before he came to this realm. Doomsday prophecies, and obviously we ain't doing well. They fracking earth shell, the cell gas that makes the land weaker. We're trapped in their spells of retail, as if she ain't teach us. They speak of earthquakes and rumors of war and non-believers, then match themselves to the stories of they conquering leaders. We need a home, 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 home. Give me safe home, 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 home. Give me safe home. Too foreign for your mission. We don't seek permission. Purveying bars of wisdom, uplifting that high nutrition. We selling packs, so listen. These reps, yes, they need submissions. You fishing for your truth, but I don't take with normal vision. I bang it by addition, flesh or veggie, I don't give in. MEGACIPH is living proof the altruist and God is living. I love your body, ma, and I won't lie to ya. I'm really fond of ya. I wanna fondle ya. Don't wanna fight no more for any rich man war. Of that fact, I'm sure. I love your coral shores. Sacred space left is right, and your water is life. Our ancestors at night, fleeing oppression and plight. Respect the earth and air, protect the seas and care. Nuchidu Takara, one day we all go home. Home, home, home. Give me safe 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 home.
See, I'm like this two-sided, you know, I'm like this two-spirited being, right? Or like multi-spirited. We all are, right? We all have many facets. I appear so calm and like relaxed and like reserved, you know, withdrawn even. But then when I perform, I am a different being. I do not, like, MEGACIPH is not Miles. You know, Miles is talking to y'all right now. You know what I'm saying? This is an interview with Miles.
Right.
This is not an interview with MEGACIPH. You see, my name didn't even change. Like on the screen, it's Miles Thomas. Look at that. And I almost always nowadays look to make sure that I put MEGACIPH, if not Miles MEGACIPH. for a number of reasons, you know. I'm invested in my children's lives. You know what I'm saying? Like I do everything for my kids, you know, and I would do everything for my kids, and I would do more, you know, if I had to. Um so like home is like the machismo that's in there is not about me. It's not ego. You know, the ego is long gone with MEGACIPH. The machismo comes across for the planet, you know, and like
Right.
my love for the planet is like, I love your body, ma, and I
Yep.
won't lie to ya. I'm really fond of ya. I wanna fondle ya. I'm talking about the beach. You know, I see
Right.
myself like on my hands and knees in the sand or the dirt, just
Mhm.
picking up, grabbing the earth, you know. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
a
it's
beautiful
like,
song.
yeah.
Yeah, and you were talking about your kids, and I know, um, just feeding your kids, right? You're the chef as well. You've been, primarily making the meals in your home for years and years now, and you have a growing family, and you have a song about food deserts, and I just think that's so. I think it's so important to talk about, especially because you see New York. I went to the Bronx Zoo a couple of weeks ago. I drove through a horrible food desert,
You
and
told me
it's
you were going.
extremely frustrating. So now, there's a song about it, and that really helps. It helps lift up the advocacy piece of it, but it also helps us process the fact that there are food deserts, the term. And so I really appreciate that. If you want to talk a little bit about that, and then we can play it, that'd be
Okay.
awesome.
Food deserts is exactly what you said. Like my homie Henny, super producer, lives in the South Bronx, you know, and getting to his house, it's you walking down, I don't know, from the train. I used to drive, but from the train, it's still like 7 blocks to his crib, to his house, you know, and it's there's nothing that you pass of substance. There's a pizza joint, and there's one bodega that then, and the bodega is decent, you know what I'm saying, because of the community. But by decent, it's like you'll get some mango, and you'll get
Right.
some you'll get some bananas, you'll get some oranges, you know. But
Hmm.
other than that, it's really just a bodega, and it's, you know, and it's right at the base of the building, you know. Um, but it's, you know, it's people don't even have a clue of the potential and
Right.
the need for local food sourcing.
Hmm.
Like if all of our food came from local community growers, and it was all seasonal, we we would uh all survive, you know what I'm saying? Because this, especially this country, like
Yeah.
this, like this being a breadbasket, that's no bullshit. Like you can almost grow anything anywhere, you know.
Hmm.
So that would work. uh and we wouldn't get as sick. Yeah, I'm getting into some next stuff. That's not really not what this song is about, but this is like the intro. This is like I said, this is like, you know, this is like your appetizer. You know, if you like this, then you like, you know, let's do some more music like this, and you'll show that by getting this music, you know, and then I'll make more music like this.
Nice.
Food deserts, yo. This is the joint. I love food deserts. My friend said this is like a nice, fun introduction. I understand that you can cook, that you know a few things about food right from the beginning, and then you start telling me more than I've ever begun to know, and
Hmm.
then you rip my soul out, made me look at it and eat it,
Yep.
and like something about my white privilege, something about I had to deal with my white privilege. So I was like,
Nice.
okay, yeah.
You Did it all.
I
And
did it all.
also it's got a cool groove which just sticks in my head forever. So
Beautiful.
again, kudos to that, and hopefully many people will be uplifted.
Bon appetit, everybody. Enjoy. Yeah, enjoy the flavors.
You got your budget? More checkbooks. I know it's your first time on your own. QuickBooks. Get your money right. You need some sort of money app. You know what I'm saying? When hunger's larger than life, I just go bananas. King Kong in a supermarket with real good grammar. Shopping for my fam, yeah, I'm in Alabama. I got them country manners, it's good to meet you, mama. Here to get some manna, some butter, and land up. Get some lakes around so I can dip chips in or stand up. This hot dog is cutting the mustard, you need to catch up. A fruit salad, morning glory muffins, cause this nuts are over ain't easy. Most retarded with cage A. Half-baked, running free, paying for pasture raised. My independence keep me grilling in prime fillets. I slow roast and don't boast, your top choice will get braised. Some greens in it, toss salad, no lean cuisine dinners. I cook, I mean business, you eat, you leave winners. The freshest ingredients don't live in food deserts, where big change and subprime markets control entrance. I fill you up at the bar. 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 This ain't buffet style, 7 courses, plenty choices. Aperitifs and amuse-bouche, the chef has voices. Just for a starter, we got water from these dirty faucets. And I was told to recommend, but I don't want to force it. Of course, it's way too costly to fund the fix for causes. So we feed the fix for fast food that makes us nauseous. Look who's in office, this fool wants to off us. We'll take a number 46 of that fork and a forklift. Cause you're out of here.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness.
We're taking number 46, a fat fork and a forklift.
Yeah, and it begs the question, what are you consuming in terms of content? We've talked on your last chat about regulating social media and really having connection with nature and your family, obviously face to face, off screen. But what do you consume, and where does it come from?
Content wise, what do I consume? Food wise, what do you mean? Yeah,
like content wise. Where do you get your content?
So my media content, honestly, at this point is mostly music. I'm listening, and right now I'm listening to a lot of Ethiopian jazz,
Nice.
Getachew, Astatke, Mulatu Astatke, the Black Jesus Experience, like just a lot of non hip hop. But then my brother, who's on the screen again, I keep mentioning him, did just drop a beautiful project, and the Grand Affair as well. I've consumed their music lately, and John O. I picked those albums up. I got a few more albums to buy actually for my family. I don't really consume anything that people would consider like that you know popular or whatever. I'll see it, I'll hear it anyway, but I haven't bought an album from probably somebody I didn't know in a very 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 long time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then like news and media, I have kind of turned it off because it doesn't serve me. And so if it doesn't serve me at this point, I'm not taking it in, you know.
Yeah.
I've been really really in the family. I've been really nesting, cooking a lot.
Nice.
After 8 years of cooking, for a child like Tafari, a child who eats and consumes like Tafari consumes. One has to develop the ability to cook anything with anything.
Mm-hmm.
So like I recently made a bolognese. It's on, and I think I shared it on my food blog, and it's made out of nuts. It's all vegetarian, you know. But it looks and tastes and came out just like bolognese. And so I'm going to start an online course called Ruby in January, which is a 6-month culinary course that mimics a 4-year degree, a 4-year bachelor's in culinary, in the culinary arts. So it's for, like it says, like for the experienced home chef. So you learn, you learn herb pairing, you learn the mother sauces, you learn how to branch off and make all the different sauces. It's just all the things that you need, food safety, storage, everything that you need to have a restaurant, budgeting, literally in 6 months. So that's really cool.
That's really cool. We
Yeah.
have a question actually from the audience. Do you have a favorite recipe or a favorite thing to cook?
I cook so many things with the family. I don't know if even I used to have more favorites.
Does
I
everyone
used
else have a favorite that you make?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. My son recently requested my potato flatbread, sweet potato flatbread.
Nice.
I use it for pizza crust these days. So you steam a sweet potato, and then until it's fork tender all the way
Mhm.
through, but not crumbly. And then while it's still hot enough to handle, you get that skin off, and then you mash it up and mix it with an equal proportion of flour. Okay. Add a little bit of salt. You can add other herbs and spices if you want to taste. And then you mash that up into a dough ball. That's going to form a perfect dough ball. All right. That proportion, whatever size potato you have, to an equal amount, once it's mashed to an equal proportion, you got to eyeball it, of flour, mash that up into a dough ball. And then while it's still warm, work it out on a floured surface with a rolling pin into into a into a round, you know. Form your dough ball, press it down with your hands, and then use your rolling pin and gently start rolling it out. And once it starts getting wider, roll it out, maybe add flour, maybe flip it over, roll it out. And then you'll wind up with a nice flatbread that you can throw into a preheated oven of 450 degrees, preferably on a pizza stone. And after 10 to 12 minutes, you'll come out with a really nice flatbread that you can top with something else if you want and really get spicy.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a pizza crust, make it a feta cheese, black olive, you know what I'm saying? Or goat cheese, black olive, fig, drizzle, balsamic drizzle, flatbread, whatever you want. And then another 10 minutes at 350. And you're going to have a beautiful meal or addition to a meal. So
Thank you for that
oh
free
yeah.
tip and recipe. That's awesome. I know we're going to make that, and delicious. Now we're hungry.
I think
And
I
that's
shared
awesome
that
that you're.
recently. I think I shared that recently as well.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, definitely everybody pay attention to Miles's food blog. Definitely looking forward to your course and seeing what you learn. And another shout out you got was really sharing how awe-inspiring you are, after seeing the growth in you for over 15 years, McCall said. So feel that love, Miles. You're awesome. And I know we've talked about this a bit, but specifically with respect to this album and Mother Earth, and how you've so beautifully connected all of the dots on so many issues in this album that we don't have enough time to go over this entire night really fully. But I'm just curious, how have you seen this album and this music? How is this influencing your spiritual path? Because you've been, meditating a lot lately. You're obviously taking this venture into the culinary arts, which I've always found extremely meditative. Doing the work that we do, specifically that I do in water advocacy, it's never ending, right? So for me, cooking and baking is always, there's an end. People can enjoy what I make. I like to share. I like to provide in that way for my family, and it feels good. It feels so good to hear a or yum, or just sustaining life, right? Literally. So how does your music relate to your spirituality?
They are like, they are one and the same. I express my spirituality through my music. Um, my music is an expression of my spirituality. It's I'm taking a yoga course right now, inspired by my wife. Honestly, she said, "Why don't you go and take this course?" Uh, and my teacher, my studio right now, the studio that we're at, is so blessed to have this teacher who trained with like the founder of modern yoga. I'm at Above and Beyond salt therapy in in Mobile, Alabama, and my teacher trained with Desikachar in India. She trained with the son of like the the founder of what we know as yoga in our world. The man who, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the story translated the sutras, and began teaching yoga. The one who Iyengar learned from. People rave about Ashtanga yoga, right? Practicing the 8 limbs of yoga. Well, the 8 limbs of yoga is just a piece of the sutras, and so you wind up with people going around the world and claiming that they're gurus, givers of light and darkness, you
Hmm.
know, and any self-proclaimed guru is not a guru. I mean, rest in peace to Guru. You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop guru, it's a little bit different, but any self-proclaimed guru is not a guru, you know?
Right.
So this studio is incredible. Like I highly recommend y'all can take online courses from anywhere in the world. And I highly recommend that you check out the Mind and Body app and check out Above and Beyond Salt Therapy, Above and Beyond in Mobile, Alabama, because this woman is phenomenal. Um, Shoshana Treichel is her name. And so my spirituality and my music have really been heightened through this connection. Wherever I've traveled to, I've done my music. Um, as a transplant, I made, every album. I was looking the other day at what I did. It's not much, like in as far as like prolific production, it's been, kind of slow. You know, I've done more lately because we're finally settled in one space. Um, but it's been like an album every 4 years or something for like the past 15 years, which is cool. It's decent. But some people have put out an album every year for the past 15. People who are signed and unsigned. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's that. I can't possibly say I'm one of the most prolific artists out, by no means. But I have put out music everywhere I've lived, and with artists from that location, which is really dope, because that's like the connections have always been real, you know um and so that is just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to feel and to experience, and to live, and to be at a place where I can reflect on it and be happy with who and what I've put out into the world,
Hmm.
It's all timeless. It can't
Right.
ever be taken back. And none of it, none of the stuff that I've put out and none of the stuff that hasn't been released, because there's a lot of stuff that's unreleased
Mm-hmm.
and that stuff that you haven't heard, that I ever have to feel bad about and ever want to take back. I've never recorded anything misogynistic or materialistic, for that matter,
Mm-hmm.
or militaristic. And when I say materialistic, I don't mean like materialist. I know the difference.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean real or fake. you know I mean about, the glorification of commodities and the glorification of material wealth. I've never
Right.
done anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've never recorded anything that glorifies violence
Mm-hmm.
against anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even though I might sound like I do. And so that's a really interesting thing. You have to listen to my lyrics and you have to listen to it line for line sometimes. And that was done intentionally, as the music is created as a conscious stream a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times. Um so
Yeah, you're answering
yeah.
this question of, what do you think of the idea of being part of a rap music genre that doesn't put people down and highlights social justice issues? You're answering
Yeah.
this right now, but like this is what it is, and I grew up listening to rap, and I was drawn always to the lyrics when they were good. Your lyrics made my head explode and my heart feel like I've never felt before, and they continue to do so. So it's just something where I feel like everybody can benefit from hearing these lyrics and opening up their minds and having these thoughts that are sometimes even hard to think, let alone say, let alone sing about, let alone, sing along to. But I think that it's so important for all of us, as we know. And then, of course, as Waterspirit shares in everything that this organization is doing, is that we have to heal ourselves so that we can heal Mother Earth. And you're doing a lot of that work. I know, you're a veteran. You've talked about this in our space before, but post-traumatic injury, that's something that you are still working on day by day, working on meditation, working on yoga. And we applaud that. We see that, and we see what you can then create because you are in this safe space, because you have this support. And we're so proud of that. And we want to just highlight that, this is you're so humble, frankly. Just that even just saying you're not prophetic, you are so prophetic.
you know I'm so humble. I'm not okay. So I'm humble. Like, I'm peaceful, right? I'm like peace loving. And I'm humble in the sense that I'm not braggadocious. I'm not walking around the streets, you know, saying, look what I got, and buying stuff to show you what I have, right? Or making music of that manner. Yeah. But um, you know, I don't make that choice actively, right? I'm not like I said earlier, like, you're interviewing with Miles. I am who I am. I'm not putting on an act, you know. Um and I don't think people who make music that is shocking and music that is awe-inspiring, like you said, are putting on an act. We're just being ourselves. But when we're on the stage, we're a different part of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And so I get to be all of myself when I'm on stage. It's scary as ever. It's scary as it
Right.
could be
Mhm.
sometimes, to be to share that much of myself.
Absolutely.
Like some of my songs make me cry no matter how many times I've done them. Best Days of My Life sometimes makes
Yeah.
me cry. Promise often makes me cry. This interview is making me cry.
It's so interesting because I've
Maybe I
also
just cried
I've
too
also
much.
had to hold back
No.
tears saying your lyrics. Sorry, I cut you off, but I've also had to hold back tears saying your lyrics, and I didn't know that also happened for you, and it is the mark of a great artist, I think, to be able to feel that much of the lyrics, um, every
one of the
time.
reasons I'm sorry to cut you off. One of the reasons I still do this is because my little ones, my boys, and my little ones, my family, my of little ones, like my extended family from here in Mobile now at the Boys and Girls Club up to Harlem, up to, you know what I'm saying? Every like almost every place I've been, I've worked with youth like that as well as making music, right? Kansas City, I did it. I've been doing it online. My youth have always raved about my music as they have about my brothers and sisters. So it's like one of the reasons it's like, okay, yeah, this industry is like Me Too got all through Hollywood, and we know about what goes on in Hollywood, although it still does, but it didn't begin to expose the music industry, the nepotism and all the things in the music industry, all the reasons that some of your favorite artists or some of the best artists that you've never heard of, you might never if you don't know the right people, you know. I mean, you talk about a closed door, a closed knit society. You want to talk about closed doors, you know, that will only open for certain people for certain situations. Uh, that's music. That's the music industry. That's not music, but it's the music industry. So that's just the way things are.
We have a question from the chat from Chloe. And it is, what is your greatest wish as it relates to your music? Great question.
My greatest wish for my music is that it reaches people and opens up their heart so that, yeah, I mean, that's it. That's it.
Awesome. And another one from a young person, Arush, who asks, do you have a specific songwriting process or does it vary from song to song?
Both
Also
really
a great
good questions.
Yeah.
It varies from song to song. Sometimes the thought for the song comes first. And I'll come up with lines and I'll start coming up with lyrics, and then I'll have to find music before I go too far, because I don't like to write anymore. I don't write music anymore without music. Uh, as as I guess whatever that sounds like. If I don't have a beat, I don't write a rap. So I might write I might write a poem, or I might just write some stuff that probably will never be a song, because I don't find myself going back to things very often these days, which is sad. I used to have notebooks. Now I do everything digitally. I haven't written on paper in a long time, partially because of my eyes, mostly because of the environment. And it's just easier on my phone or the computer. So sometimes it'll be the beat drives me to create this or that song. Or there's just something I'm creating where I'm looking for beats, looking for tracks and writing. And sometimes it's the other way. It's oh, I need to write something for this. Oh yes, let me find some music. So, and both still are part of my life.
Nice. And I know you just performed a song called IQIS. And I know we wanted to play that tonight, so I want to make sure we get to do it. But just on that, like, can you talk a little bit about that song?
So we all got people in our family who are representing LGBTQ, you know, who are out or who aren't out, and whose family isn't accepting them, who aren't, you know, who aren't vocal about their rights in the world. And if your own family won't defend you, then, you know, we got some problems, you know.
Right.
For a worldview, you choose a worldview, or you're choosing a paradigm over your family. So IQIS is I'm queer, I'm straight, is the meaning of the acronym. I'm queer, I'm straight. And because I'm different than most people, we all are. We're all the same. You said this earlier. We are you said something about all of us trying to do something for world peace. We are all experiencing the same thing. We are all having the same experience. The problem, the delusion, is that we think that we're all individuals having our own experiences and trying to figure things out. And we need to figure things out collectively, or else the world's gonna explode. But the world, like things continue to happen, right? Time is secular, not linear. And so until people are able to go inwards and solve themselves and solve our internal struggles and be happy, right? To find joy, to find peace, to climb those 8 steps, right? To do all the 8 wheels, all the 8 legs of yoga, you know, that's when you can find peace, right? Your yamas, your niyamas, your asanas, your pranayamas, pratyaharas, you know, you have to like go through all the practices, right? You have to do all the things that you're scared of, you have to overcome your fears, you know, you have to keep moving up the ladder to find bliss. So, if you can't accept another person for their choices, you got too much going on. You got too much to worry about. Most, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the world shouldn't be like that. So I want to take back language with this song. The word choice, the choices of words that we used on the song, are like, you know, our words are knowledge is empowering, and the use of words is empowering, and you can be different. I am different, and I am serious about that. I am curious. I mean, there's things that people can't even say in rap songs today. Shame on them. You know what I'm saying? Like they can, of course they can say them, but they don't. They're scared to say things like this in certain contexts, and that's so silly. So that's what IQIS is. And yeah, it's an anthem. It's for my mom. It's for my loved ones. It's for my family. It's for my sisters, my brothers. Yeah. IQIS. Steve Wallace, Dirty South Chronicles.
Awesome. I know Abby posted a link to your live performance of it in the chat. And
oh yeah, and I got to play with Lauren Murphy and the Psychedelics at the Bone and Barrel in Fairhope. I mean, like that's beautiful, you know. That's love.
It looked like a great concert, and everyone can see clips of it online.
Yeah, we had a great time. There was a thunderstorm scare, so we shut down the music, but we played for a good I think hour and a half before that, and then we played afterwards acoustically too, which was not as much fun, but it was still cool.
That's always cool. I know we have one other question related to this album. Do you have a favorite song on the new album?
I love this album, yo.
We do too.
I don't know, honestly. I've listened to it so much. And right now I've been listening to the next joint. I don't know. I like them all. IQIS might be my favorite.
Cool. I think we're gonna play that right now.
Okay.
Let's listen to that, and then we'll get back to your question, Arush.
Cool.
Awesome.
Where your glass at? Where your cup at? Said I'm queer. I'm straight. 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 I'm queer. I'm straight. I'm trans. I'm gay. I'm poly. I'm godly. I'm here when I ain't. I'm love when I hate. I'm light. I throw shade. I'm full, but I hate. I'm in beer. I pray. I'm in beer. I pray. Brush away the pain. Commune with my angels. And name another saint. I'm weak when I'm great. Strong, never fake. I'm your do or die. I speak up when you can't. Your ally life for love and equality. Human rights over goods and commodities. We're at odds, but we are not oddities. We're the same and different and possibly. I'm queer, I'm straight, said I'm queer. I'm straight, said I'm queer. I'm straight, I'm queer. I'm straight, I'm different, I'm serious, I'm changing, I'm curious. No pause and I'm absorbed in books till I'm delirious. Find me in my periods, my moods and all my feelings, my swings, my highs, my lows, and maybe with my errands, throwing stones in my lows, adorned in the finest rose. Clothes, handmade, y'all know I'm fresh down to my toes. Composed for love and equality, human rights over goods and commodities. We're at odds, but we are not oddities. We're the same and different and possibly. I'm queer, I'm straight, said I'm queer. I'm straight, said I'm queer. I'm straight, said I'm queer. I'm straight, said I walk my own path every day of my life. I'm just like you. My name is MEGACIPH. I'm queer, I'm straight, said I'm queer. I'm straight, said I'm queer. I'm straight, said I'm queer. I'm straight, I'm queer. I'm straight, I'm trans, I'm gay, I'm poly, I'm godly. I'm here when I ain't, I'm love when I hate. I'm like, I throw shade, I'm full, but I hate. I'm in fear, I pray, I'm in fear, I paint. Brush away the pain, commune with my angels, and name another saint. I'm weak when I'm great, strong, never fake. I'm your do or die, I speak up when you can't. I'm your do or die, I speak up when you can't.
Yeah, that might, I mean, I love that joint. That record goes hard.
Oh yeah.
There's a few records on there that I really love, you know, and like the vein of the album is really like a manifesto, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Earth manifesto, you know. I think the best things for the planet are open-mindedness, probably what we'd consider socialism, you know, which would be the work that the people do goes back to the people. That's at the most basic definition of it is that the people own the country. You know what I'm saying? You got to abolish prisons. The U.S. being like only 5% of the world's population and having 25% of the world's prisoners, that's shameful to me. You know, I didn't really bring that up on the song, in the album, but you know, like Alabama's building 3 supermax prisons in the next, I don't know, whatever years, you know. The governor signed it into effect, you know. 3 supermax prisons, 3.
And they're closing them down here, so that's interesting.
I mean, but they're still growing in our country. They're not slowing down is the problem, you know. It's still, unless I'm mistaken, it's still the fastest growing industry is the private prison industry, you know. Still the fastest growing industry in our country, which is shameful. That's like abysmally sad. That means we make the most money by locking up our people. 15, like the numbers are staggering, right? For just 12% of the population being Black African Americans, you know, Blacks in America make up almost 50% of our prisons. So, I mean, all the other races combined are making up the other 50%.
Right.
And the country has the most prisoners in the world.
It really says something about our culture and the need for a shift in the human condition, especially in this country, which I hope is helping. But yeah, I mean, you allude to a lot of this still through your album, through this, you know, just at the crux of it, it is climate change. It is environmental racism. That is the root issue, right? So if we're talking about funding communities and community controlled mechanisms, there's a lot of money to be doing that, and there's the knowledge of even how much money is needed. So when youth specifically see that all of this is on the table, that these solutions exist, there's funding, and it's not happening, they are really understanding and paying close attention to what that, cog in the wheel is. And it really does become capitalism,
Yes.
always.
So as a member of Veterans for Peace, and as a as a board member in what's it called, not hiatus, and there's a word for it, I'm in like I'm just out.
Sabbatical.
Sabbatical, thank you. I'm just out in the wind, right? I do want to highlight that Veterans for Peace is an organization with a lot of heart. There's a lot of harm in the organization. We're hurt. We're veterans. So to talk to your PTS comments earlier, yes, we are hurt people, but we're not out here trying to hurt people. Okay. We are one of the veterans organizations that is doing really good work out in the world. Okay. Even though we have a lot of healing to do ourselves, we're doing really good work out in the world. And Veterans for Peace has a climate crisis and the war machine music video contest happening right now. So to the youth who see what's happening in the world and like hate it, and it breaks their heart, like it has mine for my whole life. If you're making music that's talking about the change, well, then we want your music. If you can make the links between climate crisis and the war machine, and the links are right there, because the war machine, the U.S. military in particular, is the #1 contributor to man-made climate change. The U.S. military is the #1 consumer of petroleum on the planet. Nobody consumes more. We have over 800 bases around the world, ladies and gentlemen. So big industry almost always goes back to the military, like capitalism, everything, like it all goes back to the military. And that's sad, because it's built on the backs of oppression. It's built on the backs of genocide of the Native Americans, the first Americans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
built on slavery and racism. You know what I'm saying? The stealing of Black Africans. You know what I'm saying? And the mechanization of human bodies. That's what capitalism really is. And then industrialization comes out of that, right? As the need for that, like, okay, we know these are people, type of thing. So maybe we should develop some machines, and then even with the machines, the factory labor and the sweatshops and the child labor and the, what I'm saying? Like, come on, it's just capitalism is a beast, Joe. So the exploitation of human bodies for wealth will ultimately destroy our planet. There's no way that we can there's no such thing as social capitalism. It doesn't really exist. It's just a phrase that people throw around to be easy. Capitalism is going to be always what it is, which is a few control the many, and they control a whole lot of the resources. So until the people who create the work own the work, you know what I'm saying, and are able to enjoy the fruits of their labor, then there won't be peace, honestly, on our planet and
Right.
for our planet. So Dirty South Chronicles is like, I'm trying to give you that in like, I'm standing in front of Hart's Fried Chicken, and man, they make some good chicken. They really do. They really do. If y'all ever come to visit me, we got to go to Hart's and get the chicken livers if you eat chicken livers. And if not, you get a 2-piece, you get dark or white. You can get it spicy. It's beautiful. It's just so delicious. It's really good homemade chicken. And they make it to order, so that's how we're giving you world peace, is with a biscuit, a 2-piece, sweet tea, jalapeno if you like it, you know what I'm saying, on the side. And
And good conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just want to share, I know that there is a movement to finally and firmly abolish slavery through constitutional empowerment. And that is happening in many, many states across the country, including New Jersey, where it is really, really close, I think, to becoming part of the ballot in November. So I definitely want to lift that up, that is the case, because that has not been rectified. So that is something that people can look into as well. And we can, of course, share more information that Miles can amplify on his social, which Abby has posted in the chat. So please connect with Miles's channels and support his music. I know, Arush, I'm not leaving you hanging, but Miles, when you become MEGACIPH, the process of that and getting on stage, what do you do? Because it is, like you said, it's bearing your whole heart and soul on the stage, taking that fear, letting it melt away, which Abby and I talk about a lot, putting yourself in that situation. Is there something that you do to rev yourself up? My husband's a singer. He would always just kind of like sweat, and just his heart would be racing. You'd almost feel like he's going to throw up every single time, which I think is good. It's a sign of you care, you're again, like being humble to the audience. You want to perform well, but you could let us in on a little bit of your process for becoming MEGACIPH.
So when I write the song, I'm envisioning myself performing the song. If I can't say the lyric, if my envisioned self can't say this to an audience, then it can't go down on the page.
Nice.
Right? So the honesty begins in the writing process. I can't write anything that's not authentically me.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at my body of work, there's not a single thing that I've ever written that was fake.
Nope.
Some of it might go way over your head, and some of it you're just like, what is he even saying? Why is he saying that? But it's because every line that is chosen, every lyric that's chosen is chosen for a reason. And they all mean something in that song. And we can sit down and have a different type of session where we break down song for song. You know what I'm saying? Because
Nice.
that'll take, like, a song will take almost an hour sometimes, you know, right. the levels of writing that go into it. When I perform, I still get those butterflies, and I get that feeling of jitters, or, you know, nerves, you know, anticipation, excitement. It's not like there's no fear for me at this point.
Nice.
You know, inshallah, God willing, you know. It's just like I'm here. I'm like part of it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a circuit in the continuum. I'm not the source. I'm not the end of the source, you know what I'm saying? I'm here in this flow, willing to share all that I have. And that's how I freestyle nowadays. Thanks to my brother Macau, you know, and other big brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? That's how I flow when I freestyle these days, and that's how I vibe when I get into the studio. When I get into, you're kind of getting MEGACIPH now. When I get into a session, like, I become a different being, you know. And it's kind of like letting go of your fears.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we live in a global paradigm. Our global paradigm right now takes our time away from us.
Mm-hmm.
As a parent, you know, the time that you need to cook, right, for your beautiful babies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the time that we have to spend with our loved ones, the time that I have to promote, the time
Mm-hmm.
I've already created the work. Now I gotta find the right people that I entrust them with
Mm-hmm.
money to share work with who knows who.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Who are they going to share this work? Who are they going to share my stuff with?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have to pay anybody to do that? You know, like, I've already done the work.
Right.
The work is here. Here's the work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What about your playlist? I'm not really concerned with getting on those. You know what I'm saying? I need to be. And that's
Right.
the game that they have you in, right? And you're not worried with hustling up for this promotion, but you need to be. You know what I'm saying? And the competition is, which is good for us, has become us.
Mm-hmm.
We have so accepted it that we don't even take time for us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like that's the spirituality, that's all of it, you know. And how I become MEGACIPH on stage is like you're here now. You've come this far. You've chosen to come to a stage where I have a microphone. So you're going to hear some truth. You might be shocked, you might be offended, but you're going to hear some truth. You might be moved. I really hope you're moved. I really hope you're opened. I hope I touch your heart. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm about to share something because I'm not going to touch the mic otherwise. So
Awesome.
yeah. That's how
Yeah,
I became MEGACIPH.
that's awesome. We were so glad to be graced with MEGACIPH's presence, because we need to relate better to Mother Earth. And, you know, if we might ask MEGACIPH, how should we relate to Mother Earth and to each other? And how can music help bring about a more peaceful world?
We should take off our shoes. We should take off our shoes. If you want to relate to Mother Earth, take off your shoes and walk on the earth. Please do that daily. If you're not doing that daily, you might be fine, but you could be better if you took off your shoes and walked outside on the ground every single day of your life. If you can sit down while you're out there and give 5 minutes to meditation quietly, beautiful. If you can give more time, I know Waterspirit does it every Tuesday at 2:30 or 12:30 in the afternoon Central Time, I believe. Something. It's good time of day, and it's an earth meditation, and it's like 25 minutes, and it's dope. And Abby runs it, and it's beautiful. Because we got to connect to the planet that we're a part of. We got to connect to the people around us. You got to practice good things more often than you don't, if you want to do good in the world. Like, what you practice is what you will become. What you say and what you think is what you will act out in the world. And if what you say and what you think is good, then what you act out in the world will be good. So for yourself, we all have to give ourselves, we have to take, not give, we have to take time for ourselves. So I practice yoga. This month I've been doing a teacher training and a hot hatha teacher training with Shoshana. And so you have to practice more days than you don't. And so that's something I've been saying to my boys for years. Practice what you know, and I try to do that at home. I try to do that for myself. So you know, I've stayed fit throughout my life. I work out. I don't make it like the central focus of my life. I'm not up on Instagram showing you my workouts, but I work out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really even showing you what I cooked, but I'm cooking every day. Usually 3 meals a day. You know, I might post once a week, but that's because I'm not spending my time. I'm not giving my time to a free platform to hopefully build up followers to gain importance in a world filled with noise. You know, my joy is here. My joy is here. And my joy is here because my practice is every day. You know, my practice is every day. I do music every day ritually. You know what I'm saying? I go over lyrics. I listen to music like it's a ritual. You know what I'm saying? There are things that I do in my day every single day that just won't change. And they have brought me to a place of pure bliss in my life. So
very, very well said. Again, you're getting lots of love in the chat. I agree. Very, very well said.
I love y'all for being here. Thank you for having this.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you so much. This has been so awesome. Feel free, if anyone else has any last minute questions, you can still be in touch and support MEGACIPH's music. I also want to say that while you know, you're not chasing these playlists. You were just on my favorite radio station, which is WBAI 99.5 FM. You were on a show called World Can't Wait. And I think that's tremendous because WBAI plays music all the time. So I hope that they will hear your art again. And people can go back and listen to that episode as well. Thank you so much for sharing that, Abby, in the chat. But it's a really great interview with you that also gets pretty deep. And then you know, I envision your music being played on radio stations everywhere, especially where youth are present. So every single college radio station, community college, whatever type of financial setup college, please play MEGACIPH's music because it will awaken a generation to loving Mother Earth, and that is exactly what everyone needs right now. So I know we wanted to share No Fear Now on our way out. But if there's anything else you want to say, Miles, please feel free.
I'll share I Am a cappella for my family who's here.
Nice.
And I thank you for being here, family. I really do. It means a lot. I am more than you ever thought you'd bargain for, a man of peace. I am trained in the art of war, completed basic, booted before 4 in the core. But that's the same place I learned to format bars, heavy lifting in shot glasses, bullets and bombs. While I am under pressure, always present and calm, MEGACIPH diamond. Press me, see what become. You come to see me pull off what's rarely been done. We come from the bottom and make it to the top. From the depths of the Ocean Avenue is my block. I am from the Brooklyn Zoo, that's my flock. With wings spread, I am the truth, a peacock, a unicorn, living legend, undocumented. I am valid and legal in every way I meant it. I came on my own, been bought, sold, and rented. These are roads I paved and paths I cemented with intention. My intensity's a rare blessing. I'm one of a kind. Of that, there's no question. I'm manifesting flows composed for smoke sessions with these weapons blowing your mind, these woke lessons. I'm Hotep and offering new words and essence. In a sense, I make it too intense to mention. I mean what I say it when I need to. Free the truth. I'm taking back as an investment. I'm the proof. Lead a life the youth is impressed with. In the booth, MEGACIPH, not the one to mess with. Check the resume. Peep the collective. Gorilla with the E and the U. Beat on my chest quick.
Woo!
So I love y'all, man. I love life. I love the planet. And yeah, I love you for having this. I love Waterspirit. Support Waterspirit. Water is life.
We love you so much. Miles, MEGACIPH. Taking us out. We're going to put on No Fear Now. Everybody listen to Miles's music, MEGACIPH, support.
Dirty South Chronicles, everywhere you consume music. Get some Dirty South Chronicles on your plate. If it ain't dirty, it ain't straight. Make it queer, baby, or make it hate. Come on. I could go all day. Let me stop.
All right, Miles.
Everyone, feel free to unmute yourselves.
Thank you for being here, Robert. Thank you for being here, Lydia, Arush, Chloe, Mikal. Thank you, family. Abby, Rachel, everybody who's here, who's tuned in, who's not watching yet, everybody who watches later. Thank you for the love and support.
Thank you, everyone.
It's what we need, what we want. We need love. I give love. I want love. I have love.
You know, I just want to, I just want to say something that a lot of people don't know.
Save your life.
And it's a shame because, you know, there's so much art that goes into our music and so much intention. This video starts off with 8 seconds of silence for the 8 minutes, which we know is now 9 minutes that the murderer had his knee in George Floyd's neck. You know, And there's so much stuff that gets overlooked by artists who are below the radar, you know. So just look back into people's catalogs and check out work, man, and try to look deeply into what the artist meant when they made what they made, because there's a lot of meaning in things. All right, peace, y'all.
I'm gonna start it over. Thanks for sharing that, Miles.
It's what we need, what we want. We need love. I give love. I want love. I have love. Wash your hands, get it right. Good hygiene could save your life. Keep your hands out your face, especially in a public place, not least the last. Wear a mask. Take that class from MEGACIPH. You can save a life. Take a doc's advice. Not lots of light, no bleach taste. With a yes said a no. Economies closed over pathogens we can detect. The long incubation time of DNA fake and make the chain look correct. When in fact you could be infected, impact your loved ones with that neglect. Let's face it, the president's basic. Unlike his offices, needs respect and love. I give love. I want love. I have love. I give love. I want love. I have love. I value my freedoms, defend our rights, and I'll tweet it to let you know. With a post on the gram, long form on Facebook, YouTube with the live show. Our lives are material, pouring the spiritual milk for this physical flow. Don't sit back and watch as we get to March and let's see how far we go. Stop spreading misinformation about hydroxychloroquine. Close contact and bumping into me in stores ain't happening. I'm not dying for a country that just sees me as a good again. They don't even see me unless it's because of questioning me. What you want, man? I give love. I want love. I have love. I need love. I give love. I want love. I have love. Hubris makes us vulnerable, also quite intolerable. Thinking we the best to pull wool over these vegetables. I ain't living miserable. Race and hate ain't invisible. Take a knee, indivisible. While my rights ain't admissible. If king is capital, queen is corona. If he holds the crown, she is the owner. Who is the master? Who's the controller? Can he give it up? Will she pass us over? Love. I give love. I want love. I have love. I need love. I give love. I want love. I have love. Diamond, oh, what a sound. Platinum I got laying round. Gold, power to behold. SARS-CoV-2 rare to be found. Diamond, oh, what a sound. Platinum I got laying round. Gold, power to behold. SARS-CoV-2 rare to be found. I want love. No fear now, speak love. No fear now.
Thank y'all.
The crowd
So much
goes
love. So
wild
much love.
again.
That's the album too. The album starts with Everybody Arise and ends with No Fear Now. So y'all cop the album. Make sure you check out the album. And I want to hear back from you. If you're on the live, let me know. Let me know what you love about it. Let me know what you hate too. All right.
Thank you. Peace and
Cool.
plenty, everyone.
Oh, peace and plenty. I love you so much. Thank you for having this. Peace.
We love
Thank
you.
Love you, Siph. Peace, brother. This was great. This is amazing.
Thank you, brother.
This was amazing.
Thanks for coming.